I love pirate stories, as I'm sure many of you can guess concerning the time we've spent with Visions of Atlantis on part of their Pirates-themed projects, whether it be the predecessor record to this, Pirates Chapter 1, or Pirates Chapter 2 Armada. Well, Pirates 2 officially by name, there's no chapter in the official title, but it's basically that. Anyway, pirate adventures are always fun, and even beyond Visions of Atlantis, to adventures that maybe bear a similar face and quality on musical score construction, and maybe visualizer posting as well, or forthcoming adventures. One in particular I'm excited for. They're always interesting experiences, especially within the fantasy field. I'm considering the visual art space in particular with pirate pictures that I've seen over the course of my life. Go-to example, of course, like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And I think of all the different types of stretches that the stories intertwine with. And at some level, or even beyond that, right? Traditional literature. I've spoken before, in fact, with Visions of Atlantis' consideration. They gave license to this, a testimony that I've not necessarily shared before, because I kind of forgot about it, because it was so many years ago. But my children's theater days, as brief as that was, one of the first productions I was in was a children's play when I was 9, a retelling of Treasure Island. And I remember the different facets to that story that a pirate's narrative would bring life to. For example, a bit of a magical, mystical vibe, like considering maybe ghost presences or something else, whatever. I haven't looked at this number in detail, so the extent to where magic goes in reference of a deliberate pirate's concept is fuzzy for me right now. Or it's not just fuzzy, it's non-existent in my knowledge base. But I'm curious to inquire, and I could see possibilities of where the narrative will go. I assume, though, we're in for a strong experience, and one that is quite assertive in its boastfulness to a pirate vibe, or just symphonic metal prowess, as Visions of Atlantis readily demonstrates as well, with melodic and power metal intrusion if you're not necessarily familiarized. And however you approach this name, I want you to feel welcome. And our adventure together, as promised, a full album tour through Pirates 2 Armada, the follow-up to the beautiful predecessor record of, I believe, 2022 when that came out, though I was introduced to it last year. And this marks, I don't know if it's officially the day it marks, but I think we're a little over a year, in fact, of my anniversary of following this group ever since I was first introduced on part of my comment section, where Visions of Atlantis was a frequent name. And again, as I always note, thank you for all of you who made them a widely cataloged reference. I have not regretted a day or a minute, second spent with this group. These scores just are so beautiful in any energy they touch, with the instrumental decisions made, the different agents employed, the organization of the numbers, the overall pirates concept too is just really invigorating with that relatability of like that last number collide. Still, holy cow, I loved that. But the touch of Visions of Atlantis and their independent voice, I'm really just drenched in right now as an experience. Pirates 2 Armada is so rewarding and a perfect serviceable follow-up to it. Well, even not just serviceable. I don't want to make it sound like I'm lessening the potency of the record. An elaborate victory, I would say, as a follow-up entry, and one that's stacked up well right alongside to its predecessor inspiration. I love Pirates, and I'm loving Pirates 2 in the same way, with many replays that are going to be a hit on my playlist, no doubt. Like that last piece, the one before it, Hellfire, and maybe Magic of the Night will follow suit. As we enter the last quarter of the album on track 10 out of 12, we're nearing fulfillment of my promise to you of a full album deep dive, and it is a privilege to take with Pirates 2 on fresh impression basis. And again, however you approach, longtime fan of Visions of Atlantis, I know many of you advanced me, or developing listener, I hope you feel at home here. Music is best enjoyed in company, and I wouldn't have it any other way from Visions of Atlantis, not at all. I would recommend, because we are on track 10, of course, if you're walking in with fresh eyes, maybe Magic of a Night will be your welcome piece to them. Please take an examination to Pirates Chapter 1 and 2 with the 9 numbers that advance this. And I'm sure the last 2 encounters that we will take subsequently, you will thank me. Not looking for appreciation on that. Just, I'm telling you on honesty, you are going to love the voice of Visions of Atlantis. Metal fan or not, necessarily. I think the scope to their numbers and their overall talent that is so evident to their numbers will instantly appeal to you, whatever your favorite particular language of music rests in your soul. They will connect. And maybe Magic of a Night will charm you to that effect. I don't know. Again, we're going to look at this number in detail together as a first experience narratively and at the same time simultaneously on score construction. And I'm excited to do so because Pirates 2 as an experience has just really impressed me in every stripe of its play so far. Let's continue. Okay, a key range I didn't see. And I believe I'm hearing a flute and perhaps bagpipe influence. I imagine I know who's doing that, or at least it comes of similar aptitude. Basically, has like a classic rock vibe to its organization. Interesting. Just based on the note pattern with other numbers I'm familiar to from other artists. I like how quickly Clementine ascends to that note. Notice the shift to Will Arise. It's so immediate, and her voice lingers on as the notes play out. It's an effective transitional element, I think, that goes into that second instrumental medley that acts as the bridge. Or pre-verse, maybe. I like that outlook. See again that level of syncopation. And a quick cut too, that's interesting. Really emboldened that line of a choir at a deeper range. Cool ambiance there. I'd say this number kind of exists between, it's an even balance of music and narrative appreciation for me. Very much a 50-50 look. Because of its own individual character and its resonance on inspirational theming. It's a track of positivity. Fantastic interlude, very much traditional symphonic metal, especially on the aggressive side. There's the choir return. We have 20 seconds to go. Okay, we end. Yes, I think we come back. Well, wait a minute. Did we begin on the harder note? Or maybe I thought we did. Closure-wise, it works. That's an interesting number because, again, of the pattern of organization and how it mimics different rock and metal patterns. That is, I think, the most explicitly for me. There's a mimicry, and I'm not saying that it was intentioned this way, but maybe it's just a coincidence from my experiences of different music interactions of various tunes. I couldn't place artist names in the moment, just on memory of particular key choice, rhythm blend, and maybe, well, to Visions of Atlantis' regard, I get a bit of a Wanderer's vibe with this, with the more assertive numbers, like A Journey to Remember, for example. I don't know why that one's coming to mind. It might be, is it the pace? No, it's still a bit different. Maybe it's just the assertive presence and the evident positivity to the piece that connects with me, because that one definitely has a more upward vision to it. There's this resonance to it I just can't escape, and again, the names of certain pieces are escaping me, but yet the key choice and the rhythm and the overall energy of the number blend with me familiar sensations that I know I've taken on routine adventures before. I just can't place them at the moment. It's a fun number, I think. And again, the upward direction, especially as we near the end, it seems appropriate, because this is very much, at least if we're operating again by similar construction to what the original album embodied, and what has been voiced well on predecessor songs. We're taking, in a sense, a self-empowerment journey of, like pirates, standing up in revolution against the enemy, whatever that might be. And so as we near the end of the record, I guess it makes sense to give us more of a positive spin, versus resting in, well, again, other songs, as I've noted before, have built towards that direction in their narrative structure. Like the last piece, Collide, did this as a perfect example to what I'm talking about. But I think maybe as a holistic turn, the album is veering this way, because Magic of the Night speaks to, it's not necessarily as much as I was presuming, like a supernatural phenomenon. It's more of a positive internal transformation of self, or a change, or just even a departure on outlook, that you start looking inward and seeing your strength as an individual and character of overcoming whatever those complications are of life. I like its spirit, and it has a good key choice that again fits well to the pirate extreme. It just feels interestingly familiar for me to other rock and metal mainstays. Metal very much on the softer extreme, and this definitely plays more so that way, but it's got a fun rhythm and pace. For some reason, it veers as explicitly familiar to me. And that traditionalism, married to the voice of Visions of Atlantis and Pirates 2 as an album, with its originality readily boasted in a number of other works, I find to be quite an interesting medley of a piece. And it carries with it as well, as we near the end, we have 2 tracks to go, and we so far had one deliberate pause song. Maybe this one as well, it's like a pseudo paused number because of the change of tone, namely because of the way the chorus is written. Find your heart in the magic of the night, diving alone to the unknown. Again, it's a deeply inspirational and positive song, and maybe because of that direction, it works sort of in a pseudo softened piece space, or it acts like that breath number. I don't know. We're going to better determine this with the next 2 entries, including the conclusion for one of those credits. The next entry being Underwater. Well, that one kind of seems like it's veering to me again on the more aggressive, chaotic route. I don't know. We'll find out. But whatever extreme Visions of Atlantis hits in terms of their decision of musical craftsmanship in the body of Armada, Pirates 2 Armada, I have found great. Again, whatever direction that is, this is a fun experience to take holistically and to see the versatility readily allowed of a symphonic metal, even if it is to more traditionalized rock and metal roots of many artists' employment. The score just, it banks that way. I like the tone of it, though. It's got a fun rhythm, a good pace to it set by the riff patterns, and good agents interwoven between, I believe, the bagpipes and the flute. Adds on, again, definition with a real strength of voice there. I quite like it, and its positive edge, I think, it puts this album in a spirited direction as we near its closure. It's a worthy trade as we near the end that I think there is that upward destination. Or it's going to veer around a bit, because maybe Underwater might go back into that troubled statement of challenge and overcoming route. I don't know, but we're going to find out together. But Magic of the Night is an interesting entry. I didn't seem to presume correctly, but it makes sense now that I hear what magic is actually defined as in context to the number and the decisions of the artist by intention. It's very clear to me that it's speaking of personalized empowerment, however and wherever that's found or by whatever means. I quite like it as a number, and I think it has that generalized allure on thematic resonance that, again, it bears the image of the pirate tone explicitly in the score, but You just see those cues, notably, again, the folk, the lighter folk touches because of the bagpipe flute immersion. There's a real interplay with that. There, as many of you know, who have welcomed, like me, other influences in the European metal world. We've readily seen that, and have more adventures to take, in fact, in that extreme very, very soon with different artist credits. Anyway, Pirates 2 is a great experience so far, and Magic of the Night is another great entry. I'd love to hear if it's a similar opinion for you down below, and whatever angle of approach you take to Visions of Atlantis. Again, if you wish to specify, longtime fan or developing sailor, what do you think? 2 more adventures to go as we near the end of the album, and it has been a fun ride. Very much like the original Pirates record. I loved that, and this is still, I say it all the time tonight. It's a perfect follow-up that I'm becoming to time and time and time again, every track considered. And Magic of the Night as well will fit in nicely, given its evident tonal shift in its upward direction, and its pairing to, again for me, an extreme of rock and metal that I have heard before based on key choice and pacing. I do like that choice. It feels deliberate. It feels like a pseudo pause break number. Not necessarily evidenced clearly by the musical decisions, but just by the light effect of the emotions and tone the number chooses to take, or the band choose to tie into the number. I really like its direction the more I think on it, and as an experience, it fits well into the body of another beautiful record that we get to humor from, again, fittingly, such a strong voice, just even on presumption in the Visions of Atlantis name. They always impress me. And so far, Pirates II Armada has done nothing but that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.